will go to the stand the people from Kallitechnion of Acharnes, Ms. Elektra Papadaki and Mr. Stamatis Paraskevas, and after that we will go for a short 15-minute coffee break and we will proceed.
Good morning to everyone. I would like to apologize in advance for my stress and my English. We had a very short time to organize all our ideas and words for what we do and what we think about volunteerism. To start with, you all can see a little white elephant on the screen. I want you not to think of this little white elephant during our speech, even if you get bored and you need a way out of this presentation, okay? In Kallitechnion of Acharnes, we wrote a dictionary for lemmas of words we use, and they need new definitions in Greek. Volunteerism, activism, and amateurism. Volunteerism is from the Latin verb volo, that means I want, and is a willing, a voluntary, and unselfish solidarity. Being a volunteer fulfills the main prerequisite and purpose of democracy, that is free will. Activism is from the verb act, that means I do. It's the action, the activity, the activation inspired of our concepts, our dreams, our memories in life. Finally, amateurism in Greek means, in ancient Greek, means the love of art. It means the honest, sincere, responsible expression, creation, and creativity. We paid a lot of attention on our vocabulary, and that is because when somebody has defined theoretical tools, words, and concepts for his work, then he can work and act more consciously and responsibly towards those he works with, and what he works for. For example, would anybody of you do love if the word love didn't exist? In 1995, Kallitechnion was founded by the initiative of priest Markelos and parishioners of his church, so as to gather and interact in a contemporary ecclesia, like the principal assembly of the democracy of ancient Athens. Very often the youth held music and other artistic events. There are some photographs of our place. In the 90s, the area of Acharnes, placed somewhere near the mountain of Parnitha, on the north of Athens. The area of Acharnes faced many changes as long as the cityscape. Lots of new blocks, immigration and internal migration that led to alienation and estrangement of local population. From our, and as a consequence, modern perspective, Kallitechnion operated the adjacency between people. Adjacency is a primary form of volunteerism between neighbors. He operated this adjacency during an era that, as we pointed out, alienation was a common phenomenon. Nowadays, problems that come from the changes of the 90s have become even more intense in our area due to economic crisis and the deep relapse of social constructions and humanism's ideals. Kallitechnion had the basis to host our extended and actions based on volunteerism, activism, and amateurism. When our non-formal group started, and we say extended, as the deteriorated situation required more ideas, practices, and sectors to act on. Our non-formal group, counting about 3 years of action and activity, is totally independent nowadays, and may not be something totally brand new, but is actually the result of the action and activity of other and former voluntary and activist groups. We keep on acting as to inspire more and more people to be more active through principles like ours and spread the meaning and the possible results of our three verbs: I want, I do, I love in our society. We define these three main principles and verbs as vehicles of our acts, and we said at the outset that we should be extroversial to our society. Firstly, we hosted and held during these last 3 years over 100 music concerts, over 30 theatrical plays, 10 book presentations, fairy tale evenings, and many other theme nights with free entrance, giving to people the possibility to express themselves through their art and artworks, and also suggesting a somehow different recreation and entertainment. Secondly, to boost our extroversial character, we established teams where independent artists gathered and started creating inspired by our three principles, and then we cooperated with other organizations, such as European program Youth in Action, held by the municipality of Acharnes in cooperation with us, Kallitechnion, on Youth Against Crisis for 10 days during spring of 2012. Elektra 2012, it was a festival for the emergence of the NC Theatre of Acharnes, where Kallitechnion, Elektra Mountaineers of Acharnes and Acharnes Riders cooperated in May 2012, and we also participated at the first City Branding and Marketing Conference in Acharnes, where we pointed out and discussed the significance of volunteerism in city branding. Thirdly, we established 3 new teams, purely extroversial, a team of volunteer teachers who reinforce the learning process of school students of all ages and classes through daily lessons, a team of radio broadcasters at Kallitechnion FM, and an activist group named Artivists, Activism Through Art. Currently, we redefine our groups again to become even more active in a more extroversial way through projects for public demonstration. Elektra will talk about it to you more precisely.
Focusing on the last, we are planning a series of acts and activities aiming at the familiarization and regain of public space, in order to use it to express ourselves through art, change what we don't like in our neighborhood through activism, communicate through books from pop-up libraries, public conversations and discussions. Kallitechnion is meant to spread new ideas, expressions through activity and activation, to come out of the vicious cycle of misery, sadness and introversion, a common aspect of modern alienation. We believe in the expression of people to be and live out of the suppression. This communication leads people to broaden their horizons, to exchange their ideas more actively, and so to distract all the stereotypes that separate people. What's Art is a series of such extroversial acts and activities that has been deposited for approval in the European program Youth in Action. Either is approved or not, we will hold it from May to September 2013. It includes activities and events in green public spaces of the area, pop-up libraries for outdoor reading and exchange of books and ideas, photographic, jewelry and artistic exhibitions in abandoned buildings on Hilio Street, theatrical plays, music shows, interactive games like dramatherapeutic exercises, theatrical games and group games, safari and artivistic missions. The participants of the safari are to help artivists to fulfill artivistic artworks and get to know with our city by changing it. And also pedestrianization of Athanasiou Hilio Street, aiming at the connection of Main Square with the area where the ancient theatre of Acharnes is buried, and the transformation of the street to the first art street and the first area of sustainable mobility in Acharnes. During What's Art, we may cooperate with Theama Acharnon, means Theatre of Disabled People of Acharnes, in a theatrical play to contribute to their tries to have the right to participate in drama schools. Up to now this is forbidden, and also we would like to make it totally clear that public spaces are for all, are the places where democracy can be available to anybody. A non-formal group like us faces some difficulties. People used to cope with our acts and activities like they're just shows. That means it's difficult for them to get inspired. The absence of voluntary peer groups and the absence of volunteers generally, the meaning of volunteerism has degenerated to just a non-profitable action and activity and not a willing initiative and taking of responsibilities. After our verbiage, we just want to point out once more and more clearly that a suitable legal framework is available for a non-formal group. People should get organized and set goals on a daily basis and make volunteerism and show free will, activism, and show active and responsible deeds and amateurism, and show the expression and interaction and cooperation through creativity, a habit useful where we inhabit. And now, does anybody remember the white elephant? Okay, we inform you that you recalled the white elephant at least once during our presentations. We made all that to show you that it is impossible for you not to think something that somebody told you to do or not to do, to think or not to think. And it's very easy to express an idea and spread the news. Want, act, and love.